Hello my friends, welcome back to some more Nordhold. Now we have two towers, well technically three, but it's mostly two towers that we never actually used to a greater extent. And that is the Tornado Tower and the Shadow Tower. So today, what I want to see is what we can do with those. And hopefully, once again, start moving away from Arc Towers and Runestone Towers as much as we can. We might use Runestone Towers for fire rate bonuses, but it's really mainly the Shadow Tower and the Tornado Tower that I'm going to focus on this time. Now let's see what they can actually fuse with. Oh, they can fuse with each other. Well then. We don't need anything else. Okay, perfect. Sure. They can fuse with each other, then even better. Let's grab this worker and let's go for the next wave. We're going to sacrifice the first two waves as we always do. Let's go for the passive wood income. This still seems like a very good opener. Probably not, maybe not the best opener, but it's a good enough opener. So let's see, do we want to open up with Shadow Towers? You know what's insane is we can build both of them. Yeah, we can build a Shadow Tower and then a Tornado Tower. Okay, let's do this. Now this will... Okay, so the problem is... well, it's not really a problem. We can still go with stave construction, which is actually fine, because this will save us a bunch of wood. The only thing I like to have is grab economy budget 1 first, but I mean, that's really not that big of a deal. The point is we can save a bunch of wood on the guild hall and also the university. That's really the only two things that I'm looking forward to. Now let's see. Okay, pretty good damage right off the bat. Oh, now here's Tempest Hopper. This is something that we actually picked up a couple of rounds ago when we... Not when we actually tried out the Chaos Reaper, but before that when I just randomly built a few Chaos Reapers. And... you know, giving this a little bit of a thought, my biggest issue with that is this second part, which is after that they are immune to further stuns for 10 seconds. That 10 seconds, unless you have your defenses spaced out in a very large area, right, with different sections of your defense, this is actually going to be horribly bad. Because that 10 seconds immune to all kinds of stuns is... That is actually super shit. Because for the 10 seconds they can easily run away and then essentially they won't be stopped. So I don't think this is actually as good as I thought it would be in the first place. Now, making stone and crit chance, that's actually good. I'm going to pick that up. I don't want to do some rerolls just yet. Okay. Now, as for our starting research, I think I'm going to mix it up this time around. Because I want a little bit better banners for the first time. So we're going to go with banners, Guided Fortune. Into probably trade ships, because there is a chance that the hero choice will give us a discount on trade ships, minus 40%, which is huge. And by that time, we will have stockpiled a bunch of wood. So let's go with this one, see what that gets us. Oh, and also we need to take a look at our targeting priority. Okay, research reduced, perfect. That is exactly what I like to see. So previously we have targeted the ones with the most health. Now, in this configuration, basically, I think what I want to go with is the Shadow Tower being the heavy hitter. So usually that is our Runestone Tower or Chaos Reaper or something like that. This time it's going to be the Shadow Tower. And then the, excuse me, the Tornado Tower is going to be the one that takes out the smaller units. So for this one, I actually like this. Target the closest to the base. But the other one should target the boss. And then in the future also the ones that spawn minions, I mean, we can enable that, and then the highest HP ones. So essentially, and we're not going to focus on till death, because I don't want to fully take out the highest HP ones. I just want to get everyone down to a smaller amount of HP so that the Tornado Towers can finish them off. That's essentially the plan. As for what do we want to work on in terms of upgrades, well, that's a fantastic question. I think I'm just going to stick with damage in the early game for both, and see what happens. And with the Tornado Towers, I'm not even going to target the bosses. Okay, so this is done. And like I said, I'm going to go with trade networks next. Because the next round, well, end of this round, we'll have a hero choice. And there's a chance we could get, exactly, trading ships cost negative minus 40. So there's a 40% discount on trade ships. Also, tower upgrades, minus 1 gold per tower level is fantastic. Now, I actually love this as well, come to think of it. Brings 100 wood and 1 common banner. And also some good spells, right? Because this is the one that kills 4 random enemies and deals weakness. Oh man, this is actually fantastic. Right now I just want to start boosting our gold income so that we can work towards more Shadow Towers, yes. Okay, we need one more pop of Guild Hall Gold. Because that will give us 70 and we can max out on the economy budget. And that combined with, hold on a minute, that combined with our discount of trade chips are essentially going to be for free, almost. Each kill from the Shadow Tower is a chance to inflict a victim trail on the enemy with the most HP, causing them to take additional 10% damage from all sources, and it's stackable. Fucking hell. Okay, let's go with that. Let's go with some stone, because I want to prepare for the next Shadow Tower. Okay, perfect. So now we have the 70 gold. Eco budget maxed out. And now check that out. 6, 10, 20, 30, and 40 for all the trade chips. And now we're making 50 gold. That is insane. Now we're making 50 gold. We can just pop over here. And I'm going to start making a little bit of stone. So we can put down more towers, because they will start getting through our base. Now we can also grab Druid House to start replenishing some of that HP. I mean, we could even go with Wildlife Ritual too. But I don't want to. Okay, so what should be the next one? Next one should be really what we're focusing on next. Wow. I know that was an insane chain of thought. Now, I actually think that I'm grabbing this one, the resource efficiency, which reduces the outpost cost, way too soon. Because the problem is, if I get this right now, I think in the next, like, even 4 waves until the boss, we're not even going to put down a single outpost, or maybe 1 or 2. So essentially, this is not worth it just yet, but what I do want to do is get started working on our workers very soon. Okay, now here we probably need to deal some extra damage to some of these guys. I mean, we won't die, that's for sure, but yeah, they can use a little bit of help, and this is a good indication that the high HP units get past, so we need to work on those. Now what we can also do, 1 second. I think I'm gonna grab Workshop to get the 10% off. And also the Shadow Towers don't really cost that much gold, so we can even grab 2 of these Superior Architecture and then drop a Shadow Tower. Now that's a beautiful position. Ooh, I just need to sell something. Okay, let's sell some wood and we can grab another Shadow Tower. I just want to space them out. Now that is huge. So obviously they would cover the most amount of ground. That's actually fantastic. Maybe it won't reach that far, but that's okay. Okay, fantastic. And next Tornado Tower is going to be 49, which we can easily grab. Good. Now we could, I mean, if we had some experience with this build, or if I had some experience with this build, then I would be able to tell whether this would be enough for the first boss or not. Because I don't, I'm going to build a lot more towers. If we did have enough, let's say yes, then I would start working on our mill and building a bunch of workers. And so this is exactly what I want. The high HP units to get to lower HP. Maybe a little bit more lower HP. Okay, so clearly it's not that good. Quarry Legacy. Wow, that is amazing. And also Guild Bond. I'm going to reserve this and I'm going to pick this up. Now what we could do, the only problem is this resets when we build any tower. But the problem right now is that we are not doing too good. In terms of damage. I think it's mostly the lack of Shadow Towers that's causing that. So I'm going to grab 1 more Shadow Tower. I think this might actually cover more ground. Okay, let's put that down. Okay, what can we do with the wood that we have? Well, actually, this would actually be a good idea to maybe put down just 1 or 2 of these starting outposts. I don't want to put down too much, because we can grab a good discount for them. But maybe 1 wouldn't hurt. That will at least give us a nice gold income as well. Maybe we don't have to trade all that much. Yeah, let's see. Okay. Yeah, so as you can see, that 1 Tornado Tower, if it needs to attack smaller HP enemies, then it's actually perfectly enough. Yeah, I didn't even have to use any spells. So that's good, at least, because that means we don't really need more Tornado Towers, and this is fantastic. Scraper increases the Tornado Tower, the tornado damage per missing 1% HP of the enemy. That is actually huge. Because that is exactly what we're working towards, right? We're aiming for the least amount of health to reach the Tornado Towers. Okay. Maybe over there. And we can even drop 1 more Shadow Tower. Yeah, I think we might need one more shadow tower. I'm not sure. But like I said, I don't want to lose in the first round. Okay, and at this point, I definitely want to start working towards our villagers, workers. Okay, next pop of gold, we can actually pick up proactive power. Yep, next pop of gold. Let's see. Well, first of all, let's see if we can survive the first boss wave. We have good spells. And if this is enough, then we probably don't need to build any more towers, which is even better. Because what that means is the Quarry Legacy will start building up quite nicely. Okay, and... Okay, that was close. That was close, my friends. Okay, we can actually pick up Guild Bond. Let's do that. Perfect. Oh, I love all of these. Increases the weakness of Shadow Towers. Or Tornado Towers start extremely strong but weaken by 15% every 0.5 seconds. And that's a lot of damage. Can potentially trade this damage in for less Tornado Towers. Yeah, man, I love all of these. I'm gonna go with this squall because I really want to clean up those enemies that are getting close to our base. Okay, and let's start picking up our workers. At this point, of course, our research is done. That's why we are able to pick up so many workers at the same time. We could even start working towards passive income from these other locations, which I like to do. Actually go for passive incomes first because they give us 20 of that resource, and that's actually fantastic. Okay, let's see what we can do against the normal wave. Still not too happy with the initial damage. I'm more happy with the Tornado Tower damage at this point. Yeah, we need to somehow work on our damn Shadow Towers. Okay, more workers. Can actually start brewing some beer. Love it. Could grab this gold in the guild hall and actually get some passive income, as I mentioned. Okay, let's grab a little bit more Tornado Towers because they are fantastic. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I kind of screwed over the Quarry Legacy with that one. But I feel like one more Tornado Tower is going to do a whole lot of good. And we're still going to lose some HP. Okay, maybe a few more towers. Squall. Even stronger. I would honestly love to get a few Shadow Tower stuff. Shadow Towers transfer excess damage from their projectiles to the next enemy and increases the crit damage. I actually want to go with that one. Need a little bit more damage on the tornadoes or the shadows. Okay, nice. Grab this. We don't have enough wood for... I mean, we could buy... Yeah, I think it's actually worth it. Grab this house because we have a ton of wheat. Actually, we have more than enough. Yes. Okay, now we could go with a big round of towers actually next time if we want to. And even take off some of that construction cost. Yeah, we can build a bunch of Tornado Towers next round. And then we can hopefully really start saving up for Quarry Legacy and also working on more of this gold income. And then putting that gold to good use by grabbing all these upgrades. Oh, a little bit increased chance of getting banners for our meta progression. Okay, let's grab that. Oops, maybe that wasn't needed. We're still losing a little bit of HP. There's 1,000 damage and jumps to 3 more targets than usual. I mean, for cleanup, actually Lightning Net would be better if we end up with a bunch of small HP enemies. I'm gonna go with that one. Actually, spell energy is good, but I'd rather go with tower construction cost right now. And yeah, definitely let's increase... Although, increasing the fire rate of Shadow Towers would be nice as well. Let's go with more damage in general. I feel like we need that. Let's reduce the university research. I mean, all of these are good, to be honest. I'm going to reserve. Question is, will we have another market choice for the next boss, before the next boss wave? Well, I'm not going to reserve anything because I don't know. Okay, and right now I'm just going to put down a bunch of tornado towers. Mostly in locations like this, and maybe one more shadow tower. And actually we can put down more stuff. Interesting. Okay, good. And that's it. I'm not going to spend more resources on that. I'm just going to keep one worker on wheat, because otherwise we'll be going into the negatives. We're not actually going into the negatives. Why? I don't know. But we are at 0. That's perfectly fine. And we can just start working towards gathering a bunch of gold and then putting them into eco upgrades. Okay, as for the statue, I think it would be better if we increase the tornado towers damage, and also Blessing of Wealth would work better. Because, you know, normally our... Oh, this is why we need a worker. So that we can brew some beer. Because normally it wouldn't be our tornado tower or shadow towers. I think that would deal the most kills or get the most kills. It's going to be our tornado towers, taking out the large group of weaker enemies. Okay, so we have some spawners. Yeah, ultimately our single target damage is still horseshit. That's kind of obvious. I do want a legendary banner, because we're maxed out on workers. Ooh, for each wave where the tower has dealt 0 DPS, it permanently receives plus 5% damage. That is huge, because if we can build up a defensive line somewhere where they can get across, then everything behind that will just start collecting a bunch of extra damage. Good. Yeah, let's grab max out on gold. Next research, I think I want to start working towards outposts. Partially for the forge. And also for resources. What is this? Grants 1, 2, banish for the oracle choices. I don't want to spend some honor on that right now. Okay, what else can we grab? Prefabrication, actually good. Wildlife ritual will also be good. Okay. Maybe advanced towers. Okay, anything we can pick up is actually good. And do some beer. Perfect. Nice. Let's see. So yeah, shadow tower damage would be better if we could increase that. So in this case, I think this, and so this 4 towers, well, maybe not that one, because that, yeah, and now nothing. Okay, never mind. So this artifact will actually come in play later. Now I do want to check out the fusing. I'm actually going to re-roll just to see if we can get a better banner for... Oh my god, are you serious? More stone production and more crit chance, but that won't give us the fusion. Damn, but this is still a legendary banner. It's fantastic for all that stone income. So yeah, I'm going to go with that one. Okay, passive income. What else? Wildlife ritual. Oh, this absolutely blessing of wealth. Maybe a passive income of wheat. Not enough still. They're not going to the negatives. Okay, no worries. I think good enough. Okay, let's just spend most of our gold. Okay, I don't want to build more tornado towers because I like to build up quarry legacy. We have 4 waves until the boss wave. Oh yes, and barrier carriers are actually going to be a nightmare, because the tornadoes are really bad against them. So as soon as a barrier carrier comes in, it's kind of over. Okay. Let's grab stone. I'm not sure if I want to risk one more round. of not building towers. I'm not sure if we can afford that. I mean, currently the best location to build up would be this and this island over here. Because this island also has some rooms for extra damage. I think I might just go with those. And I don't think there's good reason for building tornado towers next to them. So I think I'm just going to move the tornado towers back here. Okay, let's see. And the next round we will have enough gold to actually pick up what's left. Yep, okay. Any good location for outposts, by the way? I mean, still the starting location seems to be the best. Okay, a little bit of damage dealt. I'm not happy about the damage, honestly. Next boss will absolutely not get taken out. Yes, as you can see, even elite doesn't get taken out, which is a clear indication that our single target is not good. Everything over here, even boost that. Wildlife ritual, and then you're actually done. Okay. Could go into blessing expansion and grab the second blessing for the shadow tower. I think I might actually do that. Yeah, right now we're not doing good at all. So what I'm going to do is place a bunch of workers on stone and gold and try to build up this location. So hopefully at least we can take out some of the spawners. So this area will only have to deal with those minions. Okay, Autumn Feast. I'm not sure, we might... Maybe in the future it would be a good idea to mix in a few arrow towers as well. Yeah, because this isn't really doing all that much. It gives weakness, but by the time they get to this location, the weakness doesn't apply anymore. And the base damage is just not that good. Yeah, and it's really the barriers. Okay. Still, I feel like it's not going to be enough for the boss. Okay, at least we can get the fusing. Each kill. Yeah, this is the victim trail one. So let's see what the fusing is. Tornadoes inflict increased damage against weakened enemies. Multiplies the total value, including weakness. Wow. Or, shadow towers can cast tornadoes with increased damage and duration when tornado towers are in range. Additional shadow towers in range reduce this chance. Dude, what? You can also cast tornadoes. The problem is this, which is if another shadow tower is in range, then we are removing the chance by 3. I mean, currently it's not that bad. But for example, this location over here is already screwed if we go with that fusion. So I think actually this fusion would be nice if we had shadow towers placed all over the place and then surrounded by a bunch of tornado towers. When tornado towers are in range. So each chance per tower, yes. Yeah, right now I don't think this is feasible. Unless, well, we can make a proof of concept, essentially, just to see what it would be like. So I'm actually going to grab that just to see it. First time to touch the village. Well, if it's going to be the boss, then hopefully. More damage and more projectiles in the future. Or weakness lasts longer. Block and armor. Let's go with that. Okay. So this is a shadow tower. And we must not have another shadow tower in range of this one. Oh shit, I messed it up. So actually, do I get back the full price? I'm not sure. Yes, it seems. Okay, so in this case, we actually want the shadow towers to be on the lowest hexes possible. Because that will reduce the chance of them overlapping. Like, for example, over here, one overlap. It would be really nice if I could still hover over this guy. I mean, technically I can. Okay. These two are actually in range because of that guy. That's awkward. Okay. I think these won't overlap. No, they will not. Well, that does boost damage. Ooh, I'm feeling really awkward about this. Plus, we don't have enough stone to finish this off. Okay, some over there. Okay, next round we're just going to... I'm actually going to go into... Or just take off a worker from wheat and go with a bunch of stone. Yep. Or actually we can open the chest. Doubles the chance of rare banners. Okay, let's go with that one. Ooh, this is interesting. I wasn't prepared for this. It would actually reduce the chance. Okay, so there was a purple tornado, so that's how we can tell that that tornado came from a shadow tower. Okay. Now the good news is they're not really getting that far. Bad news is I still think this isn't enough against the boss.
Research completed.
Okay, research is done. Let's get that out of the way first. Statue power would actually be fantastic because that focuses on the two towers that we're building up the most. Okay, let's see. So, wait, so the tornado towers only need to be in range, right? Excuse me. Yes, can cast tornadoes with increased damage and duration when tornado towers are in range. So they don't have to be adjacent, just in range. Okay. Nice. So these are in range and they're adjacent, but you know they are in range, and we're basically out of stone. Okay. Well, sure. Prototype version. Let's see what happens. These are actually very good hexes. Good stone from there. 24 stone from there. Okay, I'm going to grab that as well. Okay, well, let's see. Let's see what this does against the boss. I'm regenerating boss. Well, currently the boss isn't taking any damage because of the barrier. That's never a good sign. Okay, maybe we can have him out. Okay, so the boss went down. Beautiful. I'm still not feeling good about this this build currently. Okay. Most built tower. Okay, so since then, I actually figured it out. That current damage is tricky because this only counts the towers that actually dealt damage the previous wave. So this doesn't necessarily mean that we have 15 tornado towers. It's just that 15 tornado towers dealt damage in the previous wave. But if we go into cost, then this will actually show us that we have one more tornado tower than shadow tower. Which is interestingly enough the same. Then I might not actually be correct, because these guys definitely didn't deal any damage because they got the bonus from Fractured Arrow. Anyways, I'm gonna go with that. Damn, I'm feeling really awkward with this currently. Okay, well, next time is gonna be a lot better, that's for sure. So let's build some tornado towers, which are in range of these guys. Okay, let's keep building that up. Now we have a ton of gold. We can pick up spell power and amount of casting that we can do. Pick this up, and I'm actually going to go into specialization then. And we'll grab all the additional workers within one round, because all we need to do is grab this specialization next round, and then just grab the workers, and we'll have enough wheat to do that. And yeah, barriers are definitely a problem. I'm not sure if we should start increasing the barrier damage of the shadow towers, or I should just actually start putting down something that fuses with the shadow tower and deals good barrier damage. For example, arrow towers would be a fantastic choice for those, or even raven towers, just sniping the barrier carriers. Also a possibility. Let's make more stone. Actually, by the amount of critical chance these guys get, I'm actually going to move over to crit damage for the shadow tornado towers. Yep. And we can also go for crit chance for the shadow towers as well, because they also gain increased critical damage. Okay, we'll get back to that in a second. Let's grab the specialization for more workers, and that's it. We still have a bunch of extra wheat. Good. Okay. I do want more towers next time around. Actually, we can build them. I mean, it just has to be in range, so technically, if we put some tornado towers over here, then that's also fantastic. The only problem is because we cannot bunch up a bunch of shadow towers. There's really not a fantastic position for a forge, for example. Like, this would be nice, sure. This, but that would be an awful lot of forges in the future. I mean, this position actually would be nice for a ton of tornado towers, and that would be in range of this guy and this guy. I mean, what does this say? Hold on. So chance per tower is reduced by 3%. So wait, does that mean that it's reduced by 3% if another shadow tower is in range, but it's increased by 3% if a tornado tower is in range? So technically, because these guys actually null each other out, but that means 2 tornado towers are already in the positives. You know what, let's build up this location. Prefabrication, you can buy a little bit of stone for that. Okay, and then this is going to be a fantastic position for some tornado towers. And that will increase the chance of tornadoes spawning from these shadow towers. But the barriers are still going to be a problem. That won't change. Yeah, the high HP units are getting way too far. Okay, well, lightning strike. Yeah, I want to improve the lightning strike against the bosses. Tower construction costs less, and definitely damage for all towers, I think. Yeah, even more damage. They'll play nicely into critical damage as well. Okay, so like I said, this location is fantastic. We're not making too much stone, unfortunately. This is 28. Okay. It would be nice to put down some shadow towers over here, but that will kill the effect, or at least reduce the effect. Unfortunate. This might actually be worth it for some barrier damage. Just to put that down. Honestly, really the best option would be to just go with Chaos Reapers. Just raw Chaos Reapers or Arrow Towers and just pop the barriers before they get to our defensive line. I might even do that. For example, over here would be a fantastic location. Just kill off all the barriers. Yeah, ultimately, I'm not convinced that having some extra tornadoes is going to benefit us against bosses like this. Like, this is only an elite, but it gets very far off. Right? That's not good. Significantly more health. Yeah, that's exactly what we need right now. But I mean, okay. Scraper's good. Yeah, I think I'm going to do exactly what I just said I was going to do. Problem is, this will eliminate most of the resources that these guys are collecting. This only gonna be 14 and dog shit. Okay. And let's just add just some Chaos Reapers over here. Like I said, the only purpose of these guys will be to snipe barriers and, I mean, even potentially high HP targets as well. I think I am going to go with barrier damage. And just... I mean, technically we don't need to focus on barrier carriers, we just need to focus on anything. So, I mean, even focusing on the strongest would probably do enough. Like so. Okay. I was hoping to get a lot more damage out of these shadow towers, honestly. I'm sure maybe the other specialization would have been better. It's also a possibility. But I mean, it still wouldn't have done all that much against single high HP targets. Now this concept does work, so we're not getting any barriers, and because of that, I'm not sure because of that or what, but they're only getting this far, which is fantastic, and also kind of surprising, not gonna lie. That's a really big increase, although we didn't have any elites. Truth be told. Yes, more barrier damage and more normal damage. Okay, and I don't think we need any more barrier damage, honestly. Now, increasing the range of these guys is... not sure if it's gonna be worth it, but then what are we increasing? I mean, we can go with raw damage. Okay, so what to do? Continue building up our tornado towers over here. Because this really just boosts the tornado chance for these two towers. That's our biggest problem, is we can't really bunch up a good defensive line because of this. Interesting. Okay, Thunderclash, Boss Wave. This might be the end, honestly. Yeah, because look at that, we are not dealing any damage. Might need to start putting down some Raven Towers as well for single target damage. Okay, I'm going to zap him once he gets this close, because that will freeze him. Yeah, so even this elite is easily going to get through. Okay, I mean, Squall is good. Let's see, adds a third strike. We don't even have the second strike yet. Crit chance, I think that's good. Now this, on the other hand, it increases the damage from 200% to 340%. Is it possible that this will eventually get so good to actually deal relevant damage, or I'm just seriously messing something up right now? I think it's the latter, to be honest. Okay, well, what I do want to do is put down some Raven Towers in these high damage locations, with the hope that we can snipe at least the high HP enemies. This will cover some good ground, this will also cover some good ground. This location here in the middle is good. Could maybe go with some forges. I'm not sure. This seems like it's really all over the place. What the hell are these? Oh, just they didn't render. Okay. Never mind. Because that damage increase was insane, from 200 to 340. Albeit that was a legendary banner. And these should focus on the... no, probably like this. Okay. A forge over here. Won't do much for us. Yeah. We can put a shadow tower over here. Just build a bunch of tornado towers next to it, in case anyone wants to take this path. Maybe even forge. Ooh, this, I'm not liking this, honestly. Yeah, this is clearly not something you want to do. Tower plus inflation would be nice, or even more damage. Problem is, I'm sinking so much into just raw damage, and it feels like nothing is happening. Maybe outpost resource production cost. Maybe we can make some resources, larger amount of resources. Actually, it may not have been a bad idea to focus on group healers with the Raven Towers. Yeah, but ultimately this was the concept that I went with, which is Raven Towers should just easily take out, well, not easily, but, you know, deal a bunch of damage against high HP targets. Even this, you know, common banner increases it by 60%. Extra shot damage, man, that's also good. I kind of want to start playing around with Raven Towers a lot more, because they seem to have very exciting banners. Holy shit. I mean, sure, let's go with Barrier Shatter. That was just way too good to ignore. Okay. So like I said, we're going to build a few Tornado Towers over there. Problem is we can only build a few. Oh. Good hex in the starting position. Okay, and let's get some more Raven Towers. Okay, we can also burn some gold on raw damage for the Raven Towers. I also want some penetration in the future. And accuracy. Oh. Well then. If you have that much gold in the Nordhold, then sure. Let's have a little bit of accuracy. And a little bit of penetration. Okay. Well. Yeah, because this banner shot scatter into 5 new shots, that is ridiculous. Okay, insane market. 25% accuracy, 25% chance accuracy, 25% chance penetration, and discount on the next 2 outposts. Beautiful. And now these guys didn't even deal any damage, so they gain some extra damage. Okay, and some more tornadoes over here, just in case anyone wants to go that way. I'm still thinking, that's why I'm not speaking all that much, because I'm still thinking like how to improve the single target damage of the Shadow Towers. Or maybe it's just not meant to be. That's my biggest question about this is, you know, maybe there are some fusions or combos that require other towers regardless. And maybe not everything is like the Arc Tower, Moonstone Tower combo that is good for literally everything. Except for maybe slowing down the enemies. Okay, extremely high HP on Elite because of our relic, Totem of Doom. Okay, now some of these little shits, I actually rewatched not the previous episode, but when we got to wave 38. And actually some of these units starting to have this immunization. This one, immunity. Focus on them, yeah, that's the focus, but the immunity, basically what it does is the next couple of shots will be completely ignored, regardless of where those shots are coming from. And so essentially that's what happens, I think, that's my theory, that's what happens around wave 38, is that the spawning creatures have a ton of HP, right? So they immediately get far into our defense, and then once they pop, because we managed to kill it, the minions actually have immunity for like, I don't know how much, I didn't see that on the video, but they have maybe 1 or 2 shots of immunity, so like the first shots from Arc Tower or whatever will be completely ignored. And I think that's how they get through it. It might not be the group healing stuff, it might be the immunity, simply. Crit chance and spell damage, I'd rather go with more weakness. Okay. And if we have enough resources, then let's put down more Raven Towers. So I think an answer to that I mean, how to counter it would be to have actual more defensive lines, or have at least a defensive line that shoots a lot of times, and that will essentially nullify that immunity effect. I'm not sure if these guys have that, just so we can check that. Yes, so for example, these guys, this neutralizes one attack. It doesn't matter what we hit it with, that will be neutralized. And I'm pretty sure that around wave 38, I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure around wave 38, we get a bunch of these guys with much higher neutralization counts. So for example, next 3 hits will be neutralized. Okay, we got to wave 30 at least. Yeah, this one, perfect. From 340 to 420. It's fantastic. Next 5 elite enemies drop 2 chests, okay. And victim trail. I assume this also applies to the tornadoes from the shadow towers, right? Oh, Oculus Scepter. Enemies hit by hero spells are stunned for 25 seconds. Excludes tower abilities. So this is the unique of the tornado towers. I'm not gonna lie, from all the uniques we have seen so far, which I think were a total of 3, this might be the least epic one. Although the damage 1000% and the duration... Okay, now I'm starting to get confused. Because the text says are stunned for 25 seconds, which is insane, by the way. We can just hit the boss, and that's actually good. But what is this duration of 3 seconds down here? Okay, a little bit confused by this one. And now the text has changed. Because now it says deals damage every 25 seconds in the radius of the tornado tower and stuns enemies. And now the text in the bottom makes a whole lot more sense. So that means that the description that we have seen before, when it popped up, is actually incorrect, or this is incorrect. Those are the 2 options. Either one of them is incorrect, because it cannot be both. Because this one doesn't even require hero spells, right? It just deals damage every 25%. Okay, you know what? Let's just see what happens. So this is for the tornado towers. Oh yeah, that thing, and it does actually stun. Holy shit. Oh, that is fantastic, because we don't even need frost towers then. And it plays perfectly well into us bunching up a ton of tornado towers. That's ridiculous. Although the fact that the text, the original text is incorrect, that needs to be fixed. Yep. Okay, fantastic location, I think. Oh yeah, 49% increased damage. Hell yeah. And we can put some Raven towers in here. Okay, alright. So, next wave. Let's see. Yeah, Oculus Scepter. Oculus Scepter. Interesting that it's... Wait, so, okay, so I think that unique... So that has the same name as this relic, and the initial text was also the text of this relic, but as it turns out, that's not actually what happens. Very interesting. There's actually very interesting. Jumps 7 more targets. Each jump triggers multiple lightning chain. Okay, that's good. Spell damage maybe would be nice. I'd rather build more towers, to be honest. Banner rerolls tornado tower damage. Yeah, let's just go with the damage. Ooh, damage per banner. Shit. Now, what I'm actually interested in this one, yeah, including this one, but does it include the future ones as well? Because that's something I never know. But anyways, I'm just gonna go with that, because the whole purpose of Raven Towers is to deal a ton of damage. And that plays perfectly well into that role. How far does this reach? Not that far. Okay, and more tornado towers, definitely. Especially now that they stun. Okay, now this group over here is actually starting to be irrelevant, as weird as it may be. Yeah, I mean, this reaches that far, so we can't really put anything over there, but where would I put, like, those shadow towers, for example? Yeah, this fusion, man, I really can't wrap my head around this. Like, it basically says don't build that much shadow towers next to each other, and you will have a bunch of tornadoes that are okay-ish, I guess. Like, the reason we're even getting this far isn't because of that fusion or even the unique of the tornado towers, because of the Raven towers doing a lot of work, and also the Chaos Reapers. What I want to see, any of these spawners? Nope. Okay. The next Raven tower is for free. Check that out. Raven Feather. That's huge. Okay. Lead enemies less HP, and bleeding enemies have their healing reduced to 50%. I don't think we have anything that deals bleeding damage. Now shoots twice, but at reduced damage. It's also a common banner. I'd rather reroll, honestly. We have better options, I think. More weakness, I guess. Okay. And indeed, the next Raven Tower is for free. Nice. Okay, let's put that down. Let's put down more tornado towers. So yeah, like, where would we put the next shadow tower? Could put one over here, for example, and surround it with a bunch of tornado towers. Or we could put one over here, and surround that with a bunch of tornado towers. The only problem is this will probably not do anything, because there will be a lot of shielded enemies coming out of there. So essentially, they will just run past it. By the time it will be able to do anything, they will have already escaped that location. These hexes are just shit. Okay, well, anyways, more Raven towers then. Okay. Now this stun is actually huge. I love that. So is this a spawner? Because if it is, I just want to see what kind of units it spawns in terms of immunity. There weren't any spawners. Okay. Oh, those are spawners, but got destroyed way too quickly. Okay. Let's see, market increases the chance of finding legendary relics at the market. Well, you know what? For the next round, that will be actually fantastic. So I'm gonna grab that. More rerolls and one banish. Seven waves. We're not gonna survive until that long, so this is the point where it doesn't matter what we get, because we won't make it to it. But if we do, then I want even more damage. Okay, so we can do a little bit of stunning in this position, essentially. That's good for all these Raven towers, because they all can reach that position. Good. Okay. And by the way, hold on a minute. Yeah, so deals damage every 25 seconds in the radius of the tornado tower and stuns enemies. So the good thing about this is that there's no cooldown for the stuns, other than, or like in the, as opposed to the banner of the tornado tower, which was the Tempest Up or something like that. So that's why this is good, but it also, because it affects the range of the tornado tower, it might actually be worth it to actually increase the range of these towers. That means a larger radius will actually be stunned. Okay, well, let's see. If we can get past this wave with the boss, then I'm actually very happy. Based on how this all started. I'm still not convinced by this build, honestly. And by the way, does this actually stack? Causes an enemy to suffer additional 10% damage, but will this increase in the future? I don't think it does. It's also very much likely that we can't even take him out. Okay, never mind. What does this guy have? Just a bunch of HP, I guess, and a little bit of armor. Okay. Well, I guess this is good. At least we got this far. Slowed enemies, we're not really slowing enemies, unfortunately. We could start introducing some frost towers, honestly, for this to happen. Yeah, that would be fantastic. In the path of the Raven Towers. Yup. And Squall, man, that is... I still don't know if this affects the tornadoes from the Shadow Tower. Tornado duration, man. Interesting, very interesting. Okay, so let's just freeze these locations. Freeze them as they come out of their little spawners. Okay, maybe one more there. Okay, and more fire rate for these ones, and that's about it. Not really that many good taxes. Like, this is also a question that I've been having for a very long time, that is it worth even putting down outposts like this? So it costs like 600 or something. It was like 630 or something, and it's not really doing all that much. I mean, sure, if we were to make it to, I don't know, wave 50, then it would pay off. Absolutely. Okay, so these guys are group healers and barrier carriers. Okay. Okay, it's starting to get really shitty. Especially these ones. And what they spawn, and I just want to see that immunity. Okay, these don't have that. I'm not even sure this group can actually take out this elite. It can, okay. That's at least good. No immunity from these guys. Yeah, okay. Extra shot damage. Let's do at least a little bit more damage. More wood. Yeah, it's once again the high HP enemies that are causing some issues right now. These ignore barriers, right? Yes, okay, so technically it doesn't matter where we put them. Because this forge is huge. Plus 59% damage. Okay, let's grab some penetration. Honestly, we could just grab penetration for all the Raven Towers. That would benefit us greatly. So yeah, once again we have a ton of gold. Okay, that's good. Let's grab a tower that doesn't have it maxed out. Like for example this one. Because the problem is if you max it out with this auto level, then you cannot tell the remainder to increase the gold threshold. Okay, so this will also max out. I don't know how else to do this. But I want to deal the maximum amount of damage possible. Especially with these towers that are in range of this insane forge. Okay, and then the rest can maybe go for a little bit more extra damage. Okay. Okay, well, let's see. It's really the orange HP bar ones that are going to be an issue, as you can see. Yep, and now everything. Yeah, classic wave 37, right? Yep, all of these are going to get through. And it's GG. Yeah, wave 37, wave 38, and wave 39. That is just ridiculous. Okay, thoughts, quick thoughts. I'm not currently seeing the power of these fusions all that much. The Shadow Tower and Tornado Tower fusions. Of course, they very well can be. But I feel like without the Raven Towers and the Chaos Reapers, we would have died in like wave 25 or something. Wave 30 at max. Because that really wasn't that much single target damage. And then the Tornado Tower, they did good damage against weaker opponents. But there weren't all that many weaker opponents in the end. So I'm not sure. Maybe going for the other fusion would be a nice choice. Because my original theory was to build a bunch of Shadow Towers, right? And they would be the heavy hitters, and then the Tornado Towers would take out the rest, the weaker ones. But the problem is because we cannot mass Shadow Towers because of the fusion, that entire plan went to shit. And I really didn't see a whole lot of benefit from the fusion that Shadow Towers can cast tornadoes. Interesting. Still not in the 1000s, but hopefully next time we're gonna get there. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do next time. We could give this another go, although don't really have much faith in this. I do have a lot of faith in Raven Towers actually, because they do seem amazing. So I might just do that. Okay, thanks for watching.